He didn't offer really a solution. He just simply complained. People who complain without a solution are just making noise at that point. And this is what Samito is doing right here. Samito is making noise. He's not offering anything to the table. He's just simply saying, well, if they change it to 3 seconds, but maybe that doesn't fix it. Okay, well, then what's your solution? Because the entire video that you had no solution, but it's a start. And there's a lot more than what Samito provided throughout this entire 13-minute video. No solution, just complaints. Hi everybody, my name is Will, and today we're reacting to Samito's Blizzard Keeps Removing skill. Let's see what he has to say about that.
Oh boy, today's discussion should be a pretty good one. Recently, let's just cut straight into this one here. Recently, a new feature was added in Season 12 to Overwatch 2 called Wave Respawns. I think this was pioneered by Gavin, who did the new rank system, which actually has been pretty nice. I don't think it's better than the SR system, but I think from a feature standpoint, this system has way more features to it that are really, really good. I just liked seeing like my old numbers go up. That's a personal thing, though, and I'm not going to enforce my personal opinion on everyone else. The new rank system is definitely way better than the first one.
Oh, absolutely credit for it. Oh my god, it was so good.
But they introduced this new feature called Wave Respawns, which essentially like forces players to spawn in together. According to Blizzard, this has been a big success, and I'm going to challenge their thinking a little bit and give my honest thoughts on some of the clear concerns I have with Wave Respawn, some things of the game that I think have been made a little bit worse, actually.
I wonder how.
I'm not slamming the entire idea. I want to be clear about that. I just think it's a little bit too good right now. I'd like to see the dial tuned back on, especially on modes like Clash. I've had a couple Koth games where they've gotten an entire team fight. They've gotten an extra team fight that they should not have had because of Wave Respawns. It's literally given players a chance to get back into the game for free when they haven't actually made any proper decisions. They've actually made incorrect decisions, and they get rewarded or bailed out of making bad decisions. And it seems like,
that could be
just
true.
To be honest with you, like Overwatch 2 has really just dumbed down this game. It's made way more play for you things. The gameplay loop is way more one-dimensional. There's way less player agency, and personally, I don't think that's a good direction for the game to go. I'm not saying Wave Respawns are the end-all, be-all for these things, but let's get into what Gavin said. I'm going to talk about some things that I think should be improved. Let me make this clear. I don't think they should remove the system, but I do think it's too strong right now. So let's talk about this. Here's what Gavin said on Twitter. He said, I'm happy to report that Wave Respawn has reduced the number of one-sided matches even more than Group Respawn did. The number of one-sided matches in Quick Play has seen another 7 to 8% reduction in total rate since the data we showed in our last Director's Take. Just as before in Quick Play, this is affected by rank. For competitive play, the news is even better because a rank reset would normally cause one-sided matches to increase for a couple of weeks. But Wave Respawn's effect was so significant, and this is where things should get alarming. Potentially, again, we'll get to it. The Wave Respawn's effect was so significant that we had 4 to 5% fewer one-sided matches in competitive at the beginning of Season 12 than we had at the end of Season 11. Meaning that Wave Respawn makes a bigger difference than a ranked reset. I'm excited to see how big of a total difference we made in competitive play once the uncertainty we see with the rank reset is cleared. We're so thankful to all of you for the thoughtful feedback and we got, and this helped us improve this system over time. Okay, so let me be clear about what I say here. I'm not saying the system is bad necessarily. I'm not saying it should go away altogether. Good. I just think it's way too strong personally.
It could be a little bit longer.
How it works is like if you respawn, if you die within like 6 seconds of another player, like 6 seconds of their timer, your respawn gets grouped in with them.
Yes,
that number should get cut in half. There's been so many times where like either a Clash fight gets stalled out together, like how you position for your next fight matters based on the timing of the respawns. Like respawn timing is one of the most important things in the game at the skill ceiling. And if you automatically make everybody spawn together, on some maps your potential to spawn camp a player goes away completely. Not because they actually did anything right, but just because the game is respawning them together automatically, right?
Well, that was what it was meant to also do.
There was one fight where we were like at 80% on Koth, and we were chasing down staggers, and I wait to kill the last person at around 85, 86%. But because that player ended up dying within 6 seconds of someone else, which, unfortunately one of my teammates killed them and I couldn't stagger them myself, right? They ended up getting a good respawn. So 4 of the squishies spawned in at once together, and the ball spawned in early. The ball touched once, ran away, And then all 4 of them came back and got a clean team fight. And that's giving them another fight for free, not because they did anything right, but just because, again, like they honestly got punished. They died. They should have been punished for this and lose the game. Instead, because it was a 6-second window to jump in their respawn, they were able to get an entire new fight for free. And the reason why you want to stagger those players in that situation is because your fight percentage to win 1 5v1, right? And then there's 1 5v1 followed by 1 5v4 is significantly higher than your percentage chance to win 1 5v5 fight. So you're almost dividing and conquering. And if you stagger respawns, especially towards the end part of a round, that's a great way to ensure a high fight win percentage. This is a huge game sense thing that players at the skill ceiling of the game often use to create wins. Like, this is how you win. It's a big, big, big part of the game. And
it's the thing you're also trying to do
Clash,
and learn early on.
Games like Koth, like this feature, and like a 7 to 8% reduction in one-sided matches, and then a 4 to 5% in competitive during an MMR reset, soft reset, is a massive swing. And so what this is telling you is that it's an incredibly powerful feature that is bailing players out and giving them a free chance to get back into the game. Mm-hmm. The reason why so many one-sided matches have started happening in Overwatch 2 is because of the format, right? It's especially when your super tank is getting gapped, it's almost impossible for other players to overcome that deficit.
Absolutely.
My opinion. That's what I think is happening. You didn't see this many one-sided matches in Overwatch 1 because there was less emphasis on a single player. And now, the answer to that, coming in wave respawns, like, that's not actually making the core gameplay better. That's just the game bailing out bad players who are making mistakes. I don't want to say bad players. They're bailing players out who are making bad decisions.
And they're not learning from their mistakes.
You're removing the reward for a player properly staggering somebody, right? You're just removing the punishment. You're dumbing down the game. So, yeah, we've seen this 7 to 8% reduction in quick play and this 4 to 5% reduction in competitive, but it's not happening because the game somehow became better. It's happening because you removed the punishment of somebody dying in a bad time. Mm-hmm. So you've stopped the reward for making the correct play, and you're essentially removing the punishment from someone making the incorrect play. Now, to some degree, I can see this feature being healthy in the game, maybe. I'm not 100% sold, but the more I've played against it, the less I've liked it, because I see how it's giving teams who are losing extra fights. Like, you're just giving them an extra chance for free. They're not actually playing the game better, right? And if you want to give players a chance, they should have to actually do something correct. But instead, they're doing something wrong, or something inoptimal is happening to them that they should get punished for, but you're just saying, oh, you know what, we're going to remove this punishment from the players because games are too one-sided in our format that brought more flaws to the game than it did solutions. And it's like, why are we doing this? So I think in the meantime, I'm not going to sit here and...
Well, I think mostly on that, it's because when you are soloing and you're not able to communicate, there are times where, like, I've seen, like, spectating bronze. There was an episode, I forgot if it was Flats or if it was Emon or if it was... No, definitely it wasn't Samito. But there was one specifically where a Sombra kept spawn camping. I think it was a Moira. And I think it was actually on this map too. And they ultimately ended up winning the game. That's because there was one less player who was able to impact them, which was a Sombra. That was back when she was like more meta and a lot better than what she is right now. But because they were able to take away the ability to hack and get rid of ults and do all this stuff, it effectively made it so they were actually at a disadvantage even though they were losing support. To me, this is like a better thing because not a lot of people are going to be... We always have that issue where people are feeding because they're going off to Narnia and trying to 1v5 them. We've seen the Genjis bust up the Dragon Blade in a losing fight. We've seen Briggs use their ult when it's already done, or anybody using their ultimate at the end of it trying to see if they could like pull the thing back, that they could be the savior that ends up winning it. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen unless they're all like already low as it is and you just happen to get it before they could get their ults to be able to save their team. Yeah, sure, maybe, but that's very unlikely, and that's kind of the basis and the reason why we have this in the game is to basically help out people who don't know how to communicate, and that's more of a problem with the players and less with the game itself.
And rain on their parade and say, this feature sucks, it never should have been added, blah, blah, blah. I'd like to see it get nerfed. I think the respawn time should only be within like 2 to 3 seconds of somebody else. And then if you're not in that wave, you're on your own. I don't. There have been more times where I've pressed tab and been like, all right, I just got fucked by wave respawn, than I have been like, oh, like this just saved the game for me.
I think,
and even when it does save the game
opposite
for me, I don't think
team.
that's how I should be able to get let back in the game. Like, if I'm going to win the game, it should be because I do something right, not because I do something wrong and the game bails me out for free. But unfortunately, this has been a really common theme in Overwatch 2, where, like, I hate to say it, and you can go back and watch the Group Up podcast where we talk about this, where we beat around the bush, where, like, I've just been in people's ear, but, like, they're dumbing down the game. Like, the game is being dumbed down. Like, this is just what is happening. It's the most Activision thing ever, because it's like they want to make the game more approachable for casuals, and getting steamrolled sucks. Mm-hmm. But, you know, instead of, like, going to the format that you kind of stopped steamrolls or made steamrolls be less important that was beloved, it's like, okay, we're going to do this new one, and then we're going to add maintaining ult charge. We're going to put all these passives in the game that deny value, that automatically are there for the player, right? It's just the direction this game is done. It's been like watering down a fine wine to make it more accessible at a McDonald's. And it's like, that's not what Overwatch was. You know? It was, Overwatch was a steakhouse. It was a niche, right? And now, because I don't want to say in the name of profits, at least in this case, right? Because like wave respawns, like I do think that, you know, devs like Gavin like actually care about their systems and find them like it is an interesting concept. It is like I'm not trying to say it's not. I'm not trying to shit on the idea or be like they're just doing this to make money. I think they do believe in the idea, and because like honestly, I don't think the game's issues or Team 4's issues are the systems people or the art people. It's just the balance team, really.
Yeah,
like these people have really tried interesting stuff and interesting features that could make the game better. The more I play against wave respawns, though, in particular, I think it's too strong for now. And then if it gets nerfed and tuned down a little bit, I'm down to see that. But a 5 to 10% ball, 5 to 8%, I'm not going to round up, 5 to 8%, let's be fair here, margin in one-sided matches is a massive margin. That's a big margin, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just being given for all the wrong reasons. These players aren't doing anything right. The game's just bailing them out. And it's taking away the reward from players who have learned how to do this properly and make the correct decisions.
Yes.
And a dumbed-down Overwatch is not a better Overwatch. I personally think the game is at the best when its skill floor is low, its barrier to entry is lower, and its skill ceiling is higher. You want that gap to be as wide as possible so that the journey that players can go along to feel their progression, if you will, or find ways to express their own skill is all the more longer, and it keeps them more engaged. And there's just more to do. Less is not more, right? Less is not more. So, you know, I in hindsight, wave respawns way too good right now. I think they should be nerfed.
Yeah, but he's also talking about people who specifically want to get to that point. Those are the people who like want to get better at the game. There are a lot of people that just want to play the game just for fun. Just a couple matches, you know, I just got off of work, I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to go to bed. Or, you know, I don't really care about this game because, you know, I'm an adult and I have stuff to do. This isn't my job. You know, I don't really necessarily have friends that I want to play with or get better. And even then, the people who have the friends that they want to play with aren't necessarily the ones that probably like the sweaty tryhards that are trying to like get to like the top 500 in competitive. They're the ones that are like, oh, we'll just play these characters and we'll have some fun. You know, we'll lose a couple matches, we'll have some fun, we'll have some drinks or something, and we'll enjoy ourselves. That's a good experience. He's explaining it as in the terms that, oh, I want to get better at this game. Better for yourself, or better because you're tired of losing? Better because what? Because if you're explicitly saying it because of that, I think that's only for a tiny bit of the player base. I'm sorry. You know, not a lot of people are trying to get to a higher level. Do we enjoy winning? Absolutely. Do we enjoy not losing? Absolutely. Do we want and like to see ourselves as the play of the game, or to see ourselves, you know, improve and get better on this? Yeah. But then there's also life as well that we have to consider. And not every day, including me, who used to play this game like 3 hours a day until I decided to actually go into YouTube content and do all this stuff. Do I miss it? Yes. But I still play whenever I can. But I'm having to change my focus from hard doing this every single day to now it's like, well, I could do this when I can. And when I play it, I enjoy it. Even if it's a little bit less. And even if I lose. Even if I don't like losing. It's still something that's fun. He's saying that, well, you know, you want to have that skill ceiling and the skill floor be so wide. It's, yeah, but like, not everybody's going to make it to the journey. That's why a lot of people are in bronze and silver and gold. and plat. I'm getting to the point where I'm in plat. I'm trying to grind my way up to diamond at least, or to masters. Because I feel like I could do that if I put more work into it. But there's that thing called responsibility, and some people have more than others.
Players should not get additional fights for free. It's just... Look, I don't want to be called a doomer and just say it's a bad mechanic, but I kind of do think it's a bad mechanic. Like, I'm okay. Heavily leaning towards this is a bad mechanic, and it's trying to solve one-sided matches in the complete wrong way. Like, if matches are so one-sided because the power between the roles is insanely wide. There's too much power on the tank, and if there is a tank deficit, it is so hard to overcome because there's just way too much performance, like impact on one player in this game compared to Overwatch 1, where there were way more organic ways to turn fights. Abilities were all weaker. There was more opportunity and more player agency in the old format compared to this one. I would much rather see them try to go back to the old format first before they try this thing to stop one-sided matches and allow the game to not be dictated so much by what your tank is on. Really. There's just too much power on that player. And when they're on the wrong pick, it's going to create more steamrolls in both directions. And that is what has happened in Overwatch 2.
Yeah, and then the rest of the enemies counters you.
They just bail out bad players from being punished. Sorry. They bail out players, not necessarily bad players, who make bad decisions from being punished from their mistakes, and it takes the reward away, an opportunity away to potentially spawn camp somebody, stagger somebody even more. It just took away opportunity from players. It didn't actually add anything to the game.
Yeah, but how is that also fun for the person that's being spawn capped? It's like, oh man, I wish my teammate would come join me, or I would get some help. It's like, oh well, that's what this is preventing. It has the extra person to be able to come and essentially be two people leaving instead of one person, so you're not being attacked constantly. And I feel like he's missing the point on that. It's like, oh, let's hear exactly what he had to say.
From their mistakes, and it takes the reward away, an opportunity away to potentially spawn camp somebody, stagger somebody even more. It just took
the opportunity to spawn camp somebody even more. How is that fun for the person who's being spawn camped? You're gonna force him to have to then switch off of this hero to be able to go and beat you essentially, or fight you, or pick the counter that is best against you. What if they don't know how to play that character? Then they're just going to be punished for not knowing how to beat this one specific player, or this person is a lot better, because we do see that we do have a lot of smurfs in this game where they are able to essentially diff them on bot accounts, on new accounts. It's not that hard. And to say, well, I mean, it's part of the game. It's like, yeah, so is camping in COD. So was melee in Judgment. There was a lot of things that were in the game that were game mechanics. Doesn't mean everybody liked them. It doesn't mean that they were fun.
Took away opportunity from players. It didn't actually add anything to the gameplay loop. And that's why I don't think where it's at right now is a healthy solution. I think it could be better. Before I say it shouldn't be in the game altogether, I'd like to see it get nerfed slightly to like a 3-second gap instead of a 6-second gap, because 6 is just too long. You're rewarding players too much. If somebody dies like 5 or 6 seconds later, like they should not spawn in the same wave. They just shouldn't. They just should not. I'm going to get irritated, so I'm going to stop talking right now. But what are your thoughts on wave respawn? Do you guys think it was a good addition to the game? Do you think it's helping the game, or do you think that it's kind of bad? I do think it needs to get nerfed. I'm willing to see what happens after it gets nerfed, but I think they're trying to solve one-sided matches in the wrong way, and it's not better for the ceiling of the game, in my opinion. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you.
Well, that's the thing, is he didn't offer really a solution. He just simply complained, and I learned a long time ago, I really hate complainers. You could thank Baird from Gears of War from that. You know what I hate? Complainers. People who don't have a solution. One of my old computer teacher, he taught me some really good rules, and he was like a guy who's like well into his like 40s or 50s, is that the rule was, don't fuck with old people, because you just don't, because you don't know, what is going to happen. You could try to mess with an old lady and she pulls out a gun, she shoots you because she used to be a marksman competitively. Or you try to fight an old man who used to be a professional boxer and whoops your ass. People who complain without a solution are just making noise at that point. And this is what Samito is doing right here. Samito is making noise. He's not offering anything at the table. He's just simply saying, well, if they change it to 3 seconds, but maybe that doesn't fix it. Okay, well, then what's your solution? Because the entire video that you had no solution, had no offer. All you did was essentially just spew vinegar and vitriol about the whole thing. And you're justifying it by saying, oh, well, you know, it affects people and it doesn't really help them out. Essentially, you know, it prevents camping, it prevents all these things, it punishes people who make mistakes. Yeah, there's a limit to that, though. It's called bullying. If the person can't leave spawn, they're effectively being bullied. And if having an additional person that could spawn with them when they die instead of separately can easily help them out so much more. And yes, this system isn't good, it isn't perfect, it isn't great, it does need improvements, but it's a start. And there's a lot more than what Samito provided throughout this entire 13-minute video. No solution, just complaints. My name has been Will. I'll see you guys in the next video.